We're going to talk USC Trojan recruiting. Yes, it's a bye week, but you know what? Recruiting never stops. So we're going to talk about it as the Trojans currently sit at 19 commitments. The class, it's really coming together, and they could be on the brink of landing another major commitment. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. I got Scott Schrader from USC, and we're going to go behind the scenes of Lincoln Riley's recruiting board. But first, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We are the best recruiting channel on all of YouTube. And guess what? We love talking USC recruiting, so jump on board and hit subscribe for me, please. All right, let's bring in Scott Schrader. And Scott, this Wednesday, four-star wide receiver Jerome Miles, he was expected to make his decision in October, but he moved it up to this Wednesday. How important is this prospect for USC, and who do you view as the main competition heading into his decision on Wednesday?
I think getting him is a huge part of this recruiting class for the Trojans. I think they already have a really talented wide receiver class that they've assembled, and Tanook Hines and a group of guys like Corey Sims, and Romero Eisen from Baltimore, Maryland. So this would be the fourth, and I believe the final. I'm not sure they would have any more room after this, but this gives them somebody who's it just adds to the speed that they're bringing in with this recruiting class. But he's also a guy that's going to go up and make some tough grabs, as we've seen this season. There's a reason why he became a really hot prospect here, kind of in the middle of the summertime, and he would be a big get. As far as the competition is concerned, it's.
Mm-hmm.
The thought that Utah was going to be the top competition for him. I know that Texas A&M, they got a couple of visits. They got an official visit. I think they got an unofficial visit in early August. So obviously you have to put them on the list as well. But I think that the feeling right now is USC is sitting in a pretty strong spot for him.
Yeah, and like you said, that wide receiver class is coming together, and one position of need still left on that board is DBs, but you wrote an article that caught my attention on USC, a pair of flip targets. One is Dorian Brew, who's committed to Oregon, and the other is Alex Graham, committed to Colorado. Where does USC stand with both? Do they want both? Do they have room for both? Do they need both?
Yeah, this was something that I had checked on a few weeks ago, and that USC is still pursuing Dorian Brew and Alex Graham. And yes, there are two guys that they would like to get. They have room for these guys. There's not a whole lot of room in the USC recruiting class right now. I think they're almost done at linebacker. I think right now they're kind of focusing on getting this last receiver spot figured out, and then defensive line. Maybe add a couple of offensive tackles or an interior guy and an offensive tackle. So I think there's not many spots left, but there's room for these guys, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Doug Belk actually at Cass Tech next week to see Alex Graham play.
All right, now when we talk about this class, it's centered around quarterback Julian Lewis, and throughout the summer there was a lot of smoke, but coming into August, into September, things have gone dead silent on Julian Lewis's end. No visits, no real recruiting remarks, but there is a report that he's expected to attend the USC-Wisconsin game coming up, but also there's some talk of him going to Indiana that weekend. Do you expect him at USC the weekend that they play Wisconsin?
Yeah, on Friday night, I got confirmation that the plan is to be at the USC Wisconsin game. So, we'll see how things play out. But there's always a conflicting report, it seems, on Julian Lewis. So,
Always.
I'm pretty confident he's going to be at USC, and his teammate Shamar Arnaud will probably take an official visit that same weekend.
Okay. Now, you said there's a couple spots left, and I got to assume that one of these spots will be there if and when the number one player in the 2026 cycle reclassifies to 2025 and becomes a recruit that needs to make a decision really soon. Jem Stewart, number one player in the 26 class. There's been rumors that he's going to reclassify. It seems like if he does, USC's got a really good shot, and that seems like it would really round out this class. When you talk about only a few spots left, I mean, I got to assume they're holding one for Jem Stewart.
Yeah, that's definitely a guy they have room for. He's the kind of guy that you kind of reserve that extra amount to for NIL. They're pretty much all in with him. Would be just an enormous get for the Trojans. USC's had these big gaps over the years, and from when they won a national championship to when they won their next one. And this would be a lot like back in 2001 when USC signed Sean Cody, one of the top defensive linemen in the country. He was all set to go to Notre Dame. Ed Orgeron came in, was relentless, kept going after him. He ended up at USC, and it was kind of a game changer as far as recruiting goes. It kind of signified that USC is now able to get those kind of guys, and to be able to get Jem Stewart would kind of put USC kind of in that category again, which it's been a long time since probably since Leonard Williams, which is that's a considerable years ago now.
10, 12
since they've
years
gotten
now,
guys
right?
like that. So yeah, just an elite guy from another part of the country that most people think USC shouldn't be able to get. But the thing about USC right now is they also haven't had a defensive staff of this level in a long time either. And I think you couple the quality of the staff with the way they look on the field so far, and you're starting to get the interest is starting to pick up quite a bit.
Yeah, and the results are there. Like I said, 19 total commitments. So USC fans, talk to Scott and I. How do you feel about these final targets on the board? Also, Jem Stewart, is he going to be a Trojan? Let us know. Comment section below. Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.